Toast, 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 toast. Yo. Let's make a toast to completing the goals we set to do or be stuck in the hole. It's a marathon, not a race. Stick with the pace and stay in your place. It's champagne for the celebration. I'm full of light like it's dedication. Yahweh's laws is my meditation and my legislation. I do this for fun and not for the funds. They call me a shield in Hebrew, a gun. Protecting my energy, pray for my enemies, blessing the fam. Send me the Addy, I'm there. Hustling hard, collecting my shares. If it ain't truth, you know I don't care. Evil is something I feel in the air. To whom it may concern. Yato dollars, not wisdom. Nah, I ain't respecting it. Trying to play the most high, like you won't get checked in your residence. Corny Instagram clowns, swearing like we ain't out here getting it. These dudes ain't getting the money I'm getting, so when they talk cash, it's irrelevant. I'm riding clean in the Range Rover. You played yourself, now it's game over. The red dot in between the shoulder to the booster shot. I ain't talking COVID. When the cards are dealt, you gotta deal with it. Shout out to the ones that's real with it. When it's time for war, they in the field with it. You on the Lord's side, step over here. You on the world's side, step over there. A toast to all of my people, cheers, put your cups in the air. You on the Lord's side, step over here. You on the world's side, step over there. A toast to all of my people, cheers, put your cups in the air. You on the Lord's side, step over here. You on the world's side, step over there. A toast to all of my people, cheers, put your cups in the air. You on the Lord's side, step over here. You on the world's side, step over there. A toast to all of my people, cheers, put your cups in the air. You get what you give, so put in the work. Afterwards, you enjoyed all the perks. Actions always speak louder than words. You talking too much, you just wanna be heard. If you're doing good, keep your prayers up. If you're doing bad, keep your prayers up. During hard times, you gotta know it's tough, but you gotta get up. Fool me once, that's shame on you. Fool me twice, that's shame on me. The sermon is key, my wrist is on freeze, feeling like it's below 0 degrees. The more that I see, the more that I learn. You're not in your grind, and bridges were burned. Recognize when it's your time, everybody get a turn. Do your thing when it's showtime. I rip hard when it's go time. I'm praising Yahweh to kingdom come, and the Mashiach Yahweh Shai is son. As soon as he come, the wicked is done. Don't matter the place or set that you from. Don't matter the place or set that you from. You on the Lord's side, step over here. You on the world's side, step over there. A toast to all of my people, cheers, put your cups in the air. You on the Lord's side, step over here. You on the world's side, step over there. A toast to all of my people, cheers, put your cups in the air. You on the Lord's side, step over here. You on the world's side, step over there. A toast to all of my people, cheers, put your cups in the air. You on the Lord's side, step over here. You on the world's side, step over there. A toast to all of my people, cheers, put your cups in the air. Put your cups in the air. Put your cups in the air.
Right now, somebody is hating on you, and you and me is what we gonna tell them. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and my path is clear. On my purpose plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and the path is clear. On my purpose plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. Does it matter what they say about me? Cause I know God don't play about me. Rumors don't matter if they aren't true. The reason they mad is cause they aren't you. They aren't blessed, they aren't highly favored. They're just jealous that somebody made it. Words may hurt, but it didn't kill. And you can't break what you didn't build. Use these words as an affirmation. Don't let them distract you from your aspiration. Let the hatred feed your inner beast, but always keep God as your centerpiece. What that mean? You gotta be in B with it. Always. Don't stand for nothing, then you need to sit and watch the real soldiers take a risk. If you relate to this, then homie, make a fist. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and my path is clear. On my purpose plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and the path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. If the keyboard is crazy and the drum pad is kicking, you can pass me the mic. I'm about to start spitting. Will they love me, feel me, relate to me, lyrically, hate me, despise me, corrupt inside spiritually? It's the times that we're living in. No selling my soul, there's no giving in. I ain't waiting on a Judas purse. Trained till the arms are bulging through the shirts. Get the picture, that's what cameras do. Protect what I own, I got hammers too. Prefer peace and I'm praying on it. Club Shame, let Damon weigh in on it. Use these words as an affirmation. Don't let them distract you from your aspiration. Knowledge and wisdom helps you free yourself, and success will find you, so be yourself. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and my path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and the path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I need y'all to say that every day. We on a whole different stratosphere. We don't give a damn what the haters say. Yeah, I'm out.
Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kwadash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazar, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Lathananawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalachnawa, Chaubwathnawa, Kasalachnawa, Chaubwathinawa, Wala'a, Tabia Anawa, Manasaya 1, Abal, Hawashayanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wa'atapa Arath, La'ai Walamyam, Aman.
Shalom, Israel, Shalom. LY Colorado back with another Thursday night class. All praise and glory to the Most High. Shout out to all the LOI and all the other camps. So today, this class is called The Tomorrow War. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie, but I'm going to kind of touch on that, you know what I mean, a little bit. It's a crazy movie, you know what I mean, once you really look into what's going on, you know what I mean. A lot of these movies in Hollywood actually let us know a lot of things that's happened or that's going to happen, you know. And it's crazy that some of our people don't really pay attention, you know, so we'll kind of touch on that and, you know, just kind of dig into it a little bit. All right. I'm going to start with this, though. Let's start with Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. There we go. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10 says, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand." So I'm going to start with that, right? Because a lot of the stuff that we go through, so when we're talking about the Tomorrow War, we have a lot of things that we go through, right? There's a lot of different type of wars, a lot of different type of battles that we face that we don't pay attention to, you know. And I'll point out like different type of war tactics that's used against us. You know what I mean? We see the way of the world today, you know, and you know, it's a spiritual war. You know what I mean? It's a spiritual war. When brothers go out to the highways and byways, you know, they're at war. You know what I mean? They're at spiritual war. You know, when you're teaching your family members, you know, when you're in your workplace, you know what I mean? All the things that's around you is showing you that it's spiritual warfare going on. You see what I'm saying? So we got to know how to fight that, and we got to see the ending, right? But we have to be able to endure to the end to even see the ending. You see what I'm saying? I do have a class on the armor of God as well. You know, maybe I'll do that sometime. Break down the whole armor. You know, so let's go over here. Let's start with this. Let's go Revelation chapter 11. Right? Revelation chapter 11 and verse 3 and 4 says, "And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth." Now we have an understanding of these 2 witnesses. That's your northern and southern kingdom. Okay. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before God of the earth. Right? So this is how we know it's referring to us. Okay, let's jump down to verse 7 and verse 8. "And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified." I've heard some crazy stuff from brothers on that scripture. But so even if we look at, you know, the Americas today, you know, the spiritual Sodom and Egypt, you know what I mean? Sodom, you know, if we look at the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, you know, during the times of Noah and stuff like that, the things that went on during the times of Noah, you know what I mean? And Abraham has to do with that, right? And Egypt has to do with bondage, has to do with captivity, right? So this is your spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Okay? This is your spiritual Sodom and Egypt. We're in this right now. You know what I mean? I know that everyone, sometimes people look for something to happen later on and look for signs and look for, you know what I mean, certain things to be occurring for them to be like, oh yeah, we're in these times now. No, we've been in these times. You see what I'm saying? We've been in these times. Things work in emotion. You know what I mean? Even like the day of the Lord, right? The day of the Lord is not one day; it's a period of time. See what I'm saying? So the things that we go through happen over time. You see? So when we're in these battles, like I said, it said, the beast shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and shall make war against them. Like I said, right now we're in spiritual warfare. You see? So we're already in a spiritual warfare. Okay? Let's get Revelation 13. I'm going to start at verse 4. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with them? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. So we know who the saints are, right? So this beast makes war with the saints, right? So even if we look at, some of the visions that John was receiving in Revelation, you know what I mean? Some of them is in times past. Some of them already happened, you know what I mean? And some of them are to come. You see, people always made war with the Israelites. You know what I mean? So this is nothing new, us being at war now. This is nothing new. You see? So even right now, if we look at our own people, they go to spiritual warfare with us. You know what I mean? Verse 7 again, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. You see, so all the people outside of like the elect and stuff like that, right? It's not written in the book of life. They're going to follow. They're going to follow. All right. Now let me show you one form of their tactic, right? Let's go here. I got this little clip for you. It's only about a minute long. Now, I want you to pay attention to this clip and what he says. Now, the reason I named this the Tomorrow War, like I said, there's actually a movie called The Tomorrow War. The Tomorrow War is basically people going into the future fighting these aliens, okay? And this is what's said. Like I said, it's only about 1 minute, so I'll play it. I might play it twice just so you guys don't miss it.
Into the film, the timestamp is there. There's a very interesting explanation being given about the alien species and their cultural habits. Have a listen to this.
Every 6 days, the white spikes disappear. They crawl back into their nests.
We call it the Sabbath, their day of rest. And that's when we insert troops.
Did you get that?
You see that? Right there. These people know what they're doing. You know what I mean? These people know what they're doing. Here, I'm going to play it again.
A very interesting explanation being given about the alien species and their cultural habits. Have a listen to this.
Every 6 days, the white spikes disappear. They crawl back into their nests.
We call it the Sabbath, their day of rest. And that's when we insert troops.
Did you get that? So the aliens that they're fighting in the future are Sabbath-keeping aliens, and the whole world is uniting to fight against them. It says every 6 days, the white spikes, that's what they call the aliens, the white spikes disappear. They crawl back into their nests. We call it the Sabbath, their day of rest, and that's when they insert troops. So they take, very much like if you read some of Jewish history, enemies used to start to attack the Jewish people on their feast days and on their Sabbath. And so at one stage, they decided to take their weapons to church with them and to fight back on a feast day because they were getting slaughtered. What these guys are doing is exactly that. They're making use of the fact that these creatures are Sabbath keepers. Now, this doesn't just happen once in the film. There's another.
See that? So these people know what they're doing. In this movie, these aliens, so to speak, keep the Sabbath. They said every 6 days they have a day of rest, and this is when we attack. You see what I'm saying? So they have a strategic plan on how to destroy our people. You see? Salakia, I didn't pull this up, but I'm going to just pull it out, right? This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, and I'm going to start at 34. Okay? First Maccabees, chapter 2, and verse 34. Says, but they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day. So then they gave them the battle with all speed. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the places where they had lay hid, but said, let us die all in our innocency. Heaven and earth shall testify for us that ye put us to death wrongfully. Right? So at that time, we wouldn't fight back on the Sabbath. You see? We wouldn't fight back on the Sabbath. You know, and a lot of these people in history understood that. They knew that we wouldn't fight back on the Sabbath, on feast days, on high holy days, so on and so forth, right? So this is when they would attack. You know, so the Tomorrow War movie is very interesting. You see what I'm saying? Because they actually used that in that movie, right? Let's keep going. Verse 38. So they rose up against them in battle on the Sabbath, and they slew them with their wives and children and their cattle to the number of 1,000 people, right? So these people took advantage that we wasn't fighting back during the Sabbath. They slew us, our wives, children, and everything. These people, these other nations have no mercy for Israel. You see, have no mercy when it comes to Israel. Verse 39. Now when Mattathias and his friends understood hereof, they mourned for them right sore. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done and fight not for our lives and law against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth. At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath, we will fight against them, neither will we die all as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places. Then came there unto him a company of Assyrians, who were mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntarily devoted unto the law. Also, all they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them and were a stay unto them. So they joined their forces and smote sinful men in their anger and wicked men in their wrath, but the rest fled to the heathen for succor. Then Mattathias and his friends went round about and pulled down the altars, and what children soever they found within the coast of Israel uncircumcised, those they circumcised valiantly. They pursued also after the proud men, and the work prospered in their hand. So they recovered the law out of the hand of the Gentiles and out of the hand of kings, neither suffered they the sinner to triumph. You see that? So even though they was able to, they defended themselves on the Sabbath days, right? They went to battle. You know what I mean? Because they were like, if we don't do this, then we're going to die. And the Most High ain't punished them. He helped them. You see? But these other nations, they used to use tactics like that. You know what I mean? What was it? Like if they looked down on the city and they seen that Israel, and they seen people not having fires or light coming out of their homes, they know that they were keeping the Sabbath, so they would go and attack them. You see what I'm saying? This is some of their tactics. You know what I mean? And some of their tactics they use is you know, they show us in movies. You know what I mean? Like I said, the Tomorrow War is one of them. Independence Day is one of them. And this being, and I'll say this, when they have movies like that, right, of something coming out of the sky, they always show these ugly monster creature aliens, you know what I mean, that's trying to take over the world and stuff like that, you know what I mean, and they use it to manipulate you, so that way the people who aren't under the Most High can look at it and be like, oh no, we got to save our earth, our home, and so on and so forth, right? You know, so they convince you to go against it, right? They convince you that when the sky cracks, it's a bad thing, right? Let me pull something up. I meant to pull it up before class, but it's all good. Pull it up right now. Like I said, there's different tactics, right? So you got manipulation, aliens, so on, right? Now here's something that I'll share with you. And this is just a quick, you know, Google search, you know what I mean? Quick Google search. What is the purpose of the Space Force? Right? The primary purpose of the U.S. Space Force is to protect U.S. and allied interests in space, ensuring freedom of action for military and civilian operations, while also deterring aggression and conducting space operations. You see, why do these people need a Space Force? Don't think that Esau don't know what's coming. You know what I mean? These people are fighting the inevitable. You know, they use different type of tactics, so on and so forth, right? They're just fighting the inevitable. It's going to happen, you know what I mean? But they're trying to prevent it, and they're trying to get people to go along with it, right? Because the ones that are convinced make war, right? Let's go to that. Let's get Revelation 17. And I'm going to start at verse 4. Revelation in 17, verse 4 says, "And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw a woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration," right? So these beasts and this woman making war and killing the saints, right? Let's jump down to verse 14. "These shall make war with the Lamb." You see, so if they convince you, if they're able to manipulate you to believe that whatever comes out of that sky is against earth, fight with us, this is what it is. "These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is the Lord of lords and King of kings. They that are with him are called and chosen and faithful." You see what I'm saying? So the ones that are with him, they're going to be faithful. You see? They're going to be faithful. Like I said, one way that you see, right, that they use these tactics. Like I said, manipulation. Independence Day. Independence Day has this scene where the spaceship, so to speak, comes out of the sky through like a cloud of fire, right? Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 1. Ezekiel chapter 1, and I'll start at verse 4. It says, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it. And out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. You see, this is the scene in Independence Day. Like I said, don't think Esau don't know. They're just making it look a certain way so that way you can go against the Most High. Right? Let's drop down to verse 16. Verse 16. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl. And they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Right? What is he describing? The chariots. So what do they show you in these movies? They show you some sort of spaceship or something like that. You know, the ones in Independence Day were round and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So what these movies try to show you is they try to show you chariots, but they make it a way to where it convinces you that it's bad for us. It might be bad for them. You know what I mean? But it ain't bad for us. Verse 17, when they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. You see, so Ezekiel's describing the chariots, right? And this is what they're using in these movies. You know, but like I said, they're using it in a particular way. Right? Let's get Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7, and I'll start verse 21. So remember, this is going into, you know, the beasts and stuff like that, that's making war with the saints and trying to go to war with the Most High, right? Daniel 7 and 21 says, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days come, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, the four beasts shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them. And he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue the 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of times, right? Think to change times and laws. Right now, we follow a Gregorian calendar. You see what I'm saying? That's a changing of times. You know what I mean? A lot of the laws that you see in America is made specifically for Israel. And I'm going to say Israel because I don't want to say, you know, like black people and stuff like that. I'm going to say it's made for us. You see what I'm saying? Because we're the ones captive. You know what I mean? Now, whether our people know that they're Israel or not, it's made for us. You see what I'm saying? A lot of their laws are made for us. You know what I mean? Everything that they're doing is trying to work against us. Like I said, they're fighting the inevitable. And in every one of these Hollywood movies that you see where they bring out aliens and these ugly creatures and monsters and spaceships and stuff like that, America and these other countries and stuff, you know, humanity always prevails. You know what I mean? In these movies, humanity always prevails. So now it's installed in your brain and giving you hope that if you see something crack that sky open and you side with humanity and go to war, you're going to prevail. You see that? Like I said, this is a war tactic. You know what I mean? Manipulation is a very good war tactic. You know, manipulation is a very good war tactic. Spirituality is a very good war tactic. You know what I mean? Let's go back to Daniel. Matter of fact, let's go to Daniel 11. We'll start at verse 36. Daniel 11, verse 36 says, "And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard of any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. But in his estate shall he honor the God of forces, and a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver and with precious stones and pleasant things. Thus shall he do in the midst, Salakia. Thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain." You see, so these people, like I said, spiritual warfare is a very big thing, right? You have multiple type of warfares that these people use against Israel. You got chemical warfare. You know what I mean? Like look at how they defeated our brothers and sisters, right? Smallpox, diseases, plagues. You know what I'm saying? Look at what they did to us recently. You know, COVID, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? HIV. You know what I mean? A lot of these things are chemical warfare. And a lot of these chemical warfares are directed towards our people. I remember when COVID came out, they were like, oh, it's hitting blacks and Hispanics more. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So come on, blacks and Hispanics, come get this jab. You know what I mean? Y'all need it the most. It's attacking your people the most. You see what I'm saying? Chemical warfare. You know what I mean? Like I said, spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare, man, you got Islam, Christianity, Buddhists, you know what I'm saying? All types of stuff. All of these different denominations of religions, you know, that go against Israel. You don't see Christianity battling Islam like that. You don't see them hating on Buddhists. You know what I mean? You don't see that. But Buddhists, Islam, and especially Christianity hates on us. You know what I mean? Try to convince us like, oh, you know, everyone can be saved. Oh, the law is done away with. So on and so forth. You know what I mean? To try to detour us from the Most High. You know, spirituality it's a good war tactic. You know what I mean? You take a person's religion away, they look at it like they have nothing now. That's why you see people in like Islam, you know what I mean, strap bombs to them and die for their religion and for their God. You see what I'm saying? Because they're like, you're not taking that away. You know, another way of spiritual warfare is food. The things they put in our food. You know what I mean? Things they put in our food. Matter of fact, let me pull it up real fast. Like I said, Salakia, I didn't pull the Apocrypha on here, but it's all good. Let's go to the book of Judith, chapter 5. I'll let you get there real fast. Judith, chapter 5. Salakia. Just looking for something real quick that I thought of. Never mind, it's all good. Judah chapter 5, and I'll start at verse 19. Right? Now, if you don't know what's going on here, there's a war going on. You know, we were seized. You know, some of our people were seized and surrounded, right? Now, this is a soldier speaking to his captain, you know, so on and so forth, right? So Judah chapter 5, verse 19 says, but now are they returned to their God and are come up from the places where they were scattered and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. Now, therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. And let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world. You see what I'm saying? So these people know to keep us in sin. So like I said, another way of spiritual warfare is our food. You could even say that that's chemical warfare. You know what I mean? It's in our food. They put pork and abominations in everything. You know what I mean? Like, you should see us in stores. You know what I mean? I know probably a lot of y'all on here too be in stores reading everything, looking up labels. If I don't know what this ingredient is, let me Google it real fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, we be serious. You know what I mean? But this is a way to keep us in sin, because they believe that if they keep us in sin, that the Most High won't defend us. You see? But if we know better, then we do better, right? And the Most High will defend us anyway. Like I said, they're fighting a battle that they can't win. You know, there's shellfish in certain vitamins, in certain vitamin supplements. So you got to read those labels. You know what I mean? Shellfish. I remember me and Captain Zakaria was talking about it one time, and we were telling people what to look for when you're getting certain vitamins, like fish oil, right? If you get fish oil, a lot of the fish oil is wrapped in pork. So you got to get something specific that says bovine. If it's wrapped in bovine, that is a beef product. It's not pork. Or look for the one that says vegan. You know what I mean? Or look for the one that says vegan. You know, so this is ways, you know, and then you have another way that they use warfare, right? Which is what? Force. You know what I'm saying? Force. A lot of our people are shot down in the streets by police. You know what I mean? A lot of our people are convinced and put in certain neighborhoods to where they feel like they're stuck. And now they're warring against their brothers. You know what I'm saying? So what do? So basically they manipulated you to turn on your own people, and now you're at war with your own people. So they're using a certain type of force. You know what I mean? So you got police. You have slavery. I mean, I know we're in captivity now, but let's talk about like physical, get your back whipped, pick cotton type slavery. You know what I'm saying? Or build these pyramids in the heat type slavery. You know what I'm saying? That type of slavery. These are warfares done by force, which breaks us not physically, but mentally as well. You see? Physically and mentally as well. Solomon told us this one time, right? Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 10. Yeah. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 says, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. There was an old statue. I forget who it was. I believe it was President Roosevelt. There was a statue where he is literally on a horse, and you have a so-called Native American on this side and a so-called African American on this side, walking in chains next to the horse. There was a statue like that. You see what I'm saying? That is the same thing that Solomon just said, right? And we get precept to that. Let's go to Lamentations chapter 5. Lamentations chapter 5, verse 7 and 8 says, our fathers have sinned. Don't get me wrong, we bring a lot of this stuff on ourselves. Why? Because we follow the customs of the lands. You know what I mean? Follow the customs of the lands. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. Servants have ruled over us. There is none that doth deliver us out of their hand. You see, because, you know, even when we made mistakes back in the day, right? If you look at the book of Habakkuk, you know, Habakkuk prayed to the Most High and was like, how long are you going to let this go on for? Basically, how long was he going to let Israel do whatever they wanted to do? So the Most High sent the Chaldeans against us. You see? So right now, like, our punishment is this captivity. So like I said, we bring this upon ourselves. You know, like I said, though, they know what's coming. Don't think they don't. Here's a little insight to what I actually teach Colorado. Like I said, don't think that the enemy doesn't know scripture and doesn't know what's going on. Don't think that. If you look at Isaac, right? Isaac had Jacob and Esau. Okay. How is Isaac running his house? Isaac is running his house according to the law and according to the Most High. You had Jacob and Esau. So Esau knows, he know the business. You know what I'm saying? He knows what's going on. He grew up in the house with Isaac. The difference is the chosen is Jacob. That's what makes the difference. You see? But that doesn't mean Esau doesn't know. Like I said, they know that this is going to happen. They know their demise. They know all of it. What they're just trying to do is prolong it as much as they can because they know they'll be destroyed. And they're using every different type of war tactic against us. Hence, your alien movies. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to convince you to lean towards them. Because alien movies, oh, those are terrible. Those are bad. That's a bad thing. They're trying to take over the earth. You know what I mean? We don't even know what planet they're from and so on and so on. Right? But, like I said, it's a losing battle. We'll see that, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 16. It's a losing battle. Matthew chapter 16 and verse 27. Right? Matthew chapter 16, verse 27 says, for the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works. I'm going to point something out real fast. Go into the Greek. Hopefully it gives it to me. Where is it? Am I just like overlooking it? Oh, there it goes. Yep, I was overlooking it. Reward. You know, when you're in school, you get a reward. It's always good, right? Reward in biblical usage is not always good, right? It says to deliver, to give away for one's own profit what is one's own, to sell, pay off, discharge what is due, debt, wages, tribute, taxes, produce due, things promised under oath, render to account, to give back, restore, to requite recompense in a good or bad sense. In a good or bad sense. A reward does not necessarily have to be a good thing. He shall reward every man according to his works. If you are some of the people that work against Israel, your reward is going to come. See that? Your reward is going to come. Let's get Matthew 24. And verse 27. Matthew 24, verse 27. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Right? So when you see that sky crack, and Yahushua comes, they've already deceived some people to think that this is aliens. You know what I mean? Which people will be okay with trying to war with him. But we know better than that. Right? Verse 28, for wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Salaki. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. You see that? So, like I said, this is a war they can't win. Like I said, they know it. They're just trying to prolong it as much as they can. You see? But that president seems to be speeding it up. You know, he seems to be speeding it up. So, hey, that's just what it is, man. You know, let's get a precept to that, right? Revelation 1. Revelation 1 and verse 7. Right? Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen. Right? Like I said, this is something. It's just happening. Let's go back to 24. I am verse 64. No, Salakia, not 24. 26. Matthew 26 and 64. Matthew 26 and 64 says, Yahweh saith unto him, Thou hast said, nevertheless I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. You see, like I said, when you watch that movie Independence Day, that chariot or that spaceship comes through a cloud and fire. So like I said, they know what time it is, and we know that we're getting close, right? Let's go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16 through 18. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16 says, For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of God. And the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we, which are alive and remain, shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore, comfort one another with these words. That's what I'm trying to do for y'all, man. I'm trying to comfort y'all so that way all the things that's going on in the earth and the warfare that they're using and the war tactics that they're using, you know what I mean? We have a comfort knowing that Yahushua is going to crack that sky and come back for us. We have comfort in that. You know? We have comfort in that. Like I told y'all before, this is a no-win battle for them. Let's go to Isaiah 45 in verse 22. And it's funny because we could go all day with this type of class. You know what I'm saying? But, I'd be just trying to get to the point, get everyone to see that even though we're at war spiritually now, and there may be a physical war later, we have comfort in knowing that the Most High is with us, right? So this Isaiah 45 and verse 22. Look unto me and be ye saved, all the ends of the earth, for I am God, and there is none else. I have sworn by myself, the word is gone out of my mouth in righteousness, and shall not return, that unto me every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall swear. Surely shall one say, in the Lord have I righteousness and strength. Even to him shall men come, and all that are incensed against him shall be ashamed. In the Lord shall all the seed of Israel be justified and shall glory. You see? So when you have, like I said, when you go to like spiritual warfare and you got Christianity who's trying to say that it's for everyone, that the Most High is for everyone. Nope. Isaiah just said, in the Lord shall all the seed of Israel be justified. Right? Let's get Philippians chapter 2. Philippians chapter 2, verse 9 says, Wherefore God also hath highly exalted him and given him a name which is above every name, that at the name of Yahushua every knee should bow, of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth, and that every tongue should confess that Yahushua Mashiach is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You see, so we got to work our own salvation out, right? Which means we know what to do. We know to have faith in Yahushua. We know to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. We know to walk according to the Most High. This is how we work it out. Let's get the book of Romans, chapter 14 and verse 11. For as it is written, as I live, saith the Lord, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to Yahweh. You see? I don't know why these other nations think that they can beat the Most High, or why they even think that they have a chance. You know, it's crazy to me. They're delusional. But then again, remember the Most High hardened Pharaoh's heart. You see, so he'll do the same. This is probably what he's doing to them. You know what I mean? He's bringing this upon them. You know, he's bringing this upon them. Remember, it's to show his power and his glory unto Israel. Right? Let's get 2 Thessalonians, chapter 7. No, Salaki, chapter 1. I said 7. Chapter 1, verse 7 through 10. And to you who are troubled with rest, when the Lord Yahushua shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not God and that obey not the gospel of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power, when he shall come to be glorified in his saints and to be admired in all them that believe, because our testimony among you was believed in that day. You see, so in that day, right? when he cracks that sky open, like I said, we know better. We know what time it is. We know it's a day of vengeance. And this is something that they don't want to deal with. So like I said earlier, what they try to do is keep Israel in sin to prevent the Most High from defending us, right? Let's get a precept. Let's go to Romans 12 and verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord. So this is something that we ain't got to worry about. You know, I know we be angry and we hate this captivity, but vengeance is not something that we have to worry about. You see, because he's going to come and rescue his people. Let's get Isaiah 34 and verse 1. Salakia if I'm going fast, y'all. I just be trying not to take up too much of y'all time. You know, it's a Thursday night. All right, Isaiah 34 and verse 1 says, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. See, this is what we got to look forward to in his vengeance, right? It's what we got to look forward to. So when you see these movies and their armies and, you know, they get civilians to join their armies and stuff like that, and they prevail over the Most High, nah, that's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. What's the saying? Your arms are too short to box with God. You know what I'm saying? That it's not going to happen. Let's jump down to verse 8. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. You see that? I'm not going to go to it, but you know, remember it's listed of what they do and who it is in the book of Psalms 83. You know, I'm not going to go to it because it's the whole chapter, but you know what? I'll go to it. Let's do it. Why not? Why not? Psalm chapter 83 and verse 1. Song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. How do people show that they hate the Most High? Do they like have to verbally walk around and be like, man, I don't give a dang about God. I don't believe in God. Do they got to do that? No. How they show it is they take it out on his children. The things that they do to us is a way of them showing that they hate the Most High. Right? Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Right now, the so-called, the small hats will try to argue that we are the rightful people. You see, they'll try to argue that. They'll try to argue that they're the chosen people. And then they convince everyone else that we're not the rightful people. If you look at that, why does every other nation have a God but us? They try to give us their gods. You see what I'm saying? But that ain't the case. We, like I said, we know better. At least everyone in this room know better. You know what I mean? Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, which means they come together. They join together. All these other nations have a hand in the things that has happened to us as Israel, right? The tabernacles of Edom, the Ishmaelites of Moab, Hagarenes. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce all these correct, but, bear with me. Gabal, Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have Hopin, the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to the Sisera, as to the Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeeb. Yea, all their princes as Zabah and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the house of God in possession. O my God, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. See, so they made a confederate. They came together to go against us to rise above the Most High. Right? And this song is praying to the Most High for him to avenge us. You know what I mean? For him to avenge us. Let's go to Psalm 72 in verse 11. Yea, all kings shall fall down before him. All nations shall serve him. Like I said, they know their demise. They're just trying to prevent it. And how they think they're going to prevent it is attacking the saints and making war with the Lamb. But you're not winning. Let's go to Micah chapter 4. And I got a few more and we can wrap it up. Micah chapter 4 and verse 1 says, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. Who is this talking about? This is talking about Israel. All right, this is talking about Israel. And many nations shall come and say, come, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord and to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. This is kind of a sidebar. Okay. Are the other nations allowed to worship the Most High? Absolutely. Absolutely. They're just not welcome into the congregation. You know what I mean? They don't have the same position as us. They're not the ones being redeemed and chosen and a peculiar people or a special people. Those aren't them. But they're going to have to abide later on regardless. So they have to come to us in order to have an understanding. Right? Verse 3, and he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into prune hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. When Yahushua comes back, when he cracks that sky and subdues the earth and we get put in our place, our rightful place, there will be war no more. There won't be a tomorrow war after that. You see what I'm saying? And this coincides with Isaiah chapter 2. Isaiah and Micah were saying the same thing. Isaiah chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains and be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. You see that? Isaiah and Micah was prophesying the same outcome. Verse 3, and many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into prune hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. You see that? This prophecy was given to Isaiah and Micah. The Most High revealed the same thing to them. Right? Let's get another one. Let's go to Isaiah 60. Yeah, Isaiah 60 and verse 14 says, the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto the Salakia. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of the Lord, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. See that? So these other nations will bow themselves down to us, to our feet. You know what I mean? So in that time, Israel could be like, kiss my Converse. You know what I'm saying? Kiss my Converse. Let's go Isaiah 49 and verse 23. Isaiah 49 and verse 23 says, and kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers, and they shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, for they shall not be ashamed to wait for me. You see, so we have to endure, we have to wait patiently. We know the outcome of this war. We know the outcome. We just have to be patient. Right? We just have to be patient. Let's go. Let's stay at Isaiah 14. We all know these. Isaiah 14 and verse 1 says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. This is what we're enduring for, man. It's what we're enduring for. And we'll get one more. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 18. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 18 says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. And we'll end it right there. I hope y'all understood that tomorrow war and the war and battles that we're dealing with today. You know, like I said, spiritual warfare, and then it'll come to physical warfare, because Yahushua is going to take vengeance for us, you know, for the children of Israel. Shout out, like I said, to all the camps. Shout out to LOY. Lord's will. Hopefully y'all were edified. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the class. Stay tuned for Detroit's class tomorrow for Shabbat, and Saturday's class. I'm not going to say who's teaching that class because I'm not 100% sure, but but I have an idea. But please donate to the school. Support the ministry. And with that, I will say Kwam Yasharala and Shalom.
I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon. You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? Her name is Babylon. I call her Babs for short. She has a lot of lovers. She lets them pass her port. She has a love affair with every foreign nation. She has a favorite wine. Its name is fornication. She has a purple robe. She has a pearly necklace. And if you worship Caesar, she'll give you worldly blessings. She's insatiable. She cannot hide her passion. Last week, somebody said she rides a dragon. I know it's crazy, but the question is why she had to put a crown upon its 7 heads. And it's even deeper. I had to peep the madness. She made war with the saints that tried to keep commandments. And since she killed the righteous and won't let me be, when she burns, it won't be from an STD. Bodies everywhere, both man and beast. And on that day, the birds are gonna have a feast. You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? Show me the finest girl. Babs is just as pretty. Her name is Babylon. The girl is such a mystery. Yeah, she's been that way since we were little kids. She nicknamed me Mark like I was 666. She said, you want my number? I said, you high as hell. She said, you need my number or you can't buy or sell. She said, take my number. I know that I can't make you, but I'm espoused to Christ and I'm staying faithful. Isaiah had a vision. He saw the elevation. Jesus preached the gospel. John had a revelation. Her lovers hated Babs, so they burned her up. What's upside down, the Lord could always turn it up. You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? I'm telling Babylon. 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 I'm telling